Just finished having breakfast and cooking. I prepared 3 kinds of meal. So there is a soup and there's a boiled egg, there's scrambled egg and fried ham so that my children can eat well later. Oh, there's someone who he's actually walking. He's not riding his bicycle. It is really quiet in the morning. I wonder what is this kind of fruit. Do you know what kind of fruit is it, guys? Look at that. Can we eat this fruit? Is it santalgi? I think my mom-in-law, he actually tried to do some of the santalgi, mountain berries. Yeah, maybe they are. I don't know what is their name. Look at that. Wow. There are a lot of berries here. Look at the berries. I think it's wild berries. Yeah, I don't know the exact name of it. It's kind of wild berries actually. Oh, there are also some flowers in here. Look at that. Wow. It looks so refreshing actually. Actually here in Korea, I observed that the couples doesn't have too many children. We just decided to have only 2 children because I think for us, we are just average we doesn't have too many, too much money to provide for our kid education when they grow up. So it is better for us to just have 2 kids. And I observe actually there are childless couples here in Korea. I don't know, maybe they prefer not to have children because of the education costs. So they prefer to not to bear a child. South Korea, I think they have a hyper-competitive academic culture from a young age, and children attend expensive hagons, expensive academies. And many parents, I think, feel that if they send their children to special academies and have their children have the tutorials, then they can actually build a better future. But then, it will cause us extreme financial strain if we send our children in private education. And also the housing cost, I think. Nowadays, the housing is unaffordable for average workers. Hi, hello, Blue Orca. How are you? Yes, it's beautiful in here, right? That's why I really love it here. I love to walk here in the morning. Yeah, I think the main reasons for the South Korea's low birth rate, because most of the couple nowadays, they're childless, or maybe they have one child or two children, and they stop there. They don't want to bear any more child. I think because of the soaring financial strain, it's so expensive, and also the housing cost. It is unaffordable for the average workers. Also the workplace, because Koreans, I think they work some of the longest hours among developed nations, and it demands them, little time for family life. And many employees, actually, particularly women, face penalties or career setbacks if they take maternity leave. And then, of course, they need to give up their career because they have to take care of their children, of their babies at home. Also, I think there is still gender inequality, because I think that is the culture, and it's still ongoing, even though it changed a lot from years before. But still, there's still some gender inequality. It shows that traditional gender roles remain deeply connected, and women, they still expected us women, we are still expected to do a lot of house chores, like 80% of house chores and work. And while we are working, we take care of our children, and also we are actually expected to do all the house chores. That is because of the gender inequality. But I think nowadays it's getting better than before. My husband told me that before, the men, they are not expected to enter the kitchen. So that is their upbringing before. Maybe that is 30 years ago, I think. According to my husband, that's what I heard of him, and I actually heard it also from my mom-in-law. So the first time that my husband actually helps me in the kitchen, my mom-in-law is actually looking at me. So I'm not sure if it's good or not, but then I told my mom-in-law that in Philippines, in our country, actually, the husband and wife share doing the household chores. That's not right. Family life should be enhanced and celebrated. Right, of course, yes. Hi Braxton, hi Blue Orca, and hi Vincent D312. Yes, that's what I'm talking about also. For me, I'm thinking about the childless couples, even though I don't judge them. Of course, I don't have the right to judge those uh, who doesn't have a child, because that is their decision. They choose it not to have one. But then I actually think that if you have a child, you know, even though it's expensive and it will cost you a lot for their education, for their clothing, and everything, the necessary things that you need to provide for them. But there are a lot of good things also having a children, you know. They will give you more, I think they will complete you. And there is this happiness that they will give you also. The energy, the young energy that they will, give you. And it will complete your family. So because there's mom and dad, and then there your children. So if there's an occasion, actually, you will you can celebrate the occasion better because you have a children with you. So it's for example Christmas, a Christmas occasion, or New Year, birthdays. Yes. So it's better to celebrate with children with you, right? And you can feel the spirit of Christmas, even the New Year. And if you have a, if you will have a birthday, then you can actually celebrate it with your children and have a birthday cake. It's just simple things, but it will actually give us, happiness in our life. Even though we doesn't have money, right? And we are not that rich, but there is the contentment that you can feel if you will actually have your own children. But actually, I don't want to judge the others who are childless, because living here in Korea, I realized how expensive it. It's really expensive, to send one child of all the after school activities, of all the academies, special academies. But then you doesn't have a choice but to send them, actually. So high cost of living, I think, is one reason why here in Korea they have fewer children than in other country. So for them, one is enough or two is enough. And I totally understand it, because me, I have two children also, and I don't want to have another child because I think I'm going older also, and my husband is going older too. And of course, we want to provide the best education for our two children first. And if we bear another child, then we need to provide more, and we need to work harder, like that. And maybe the time that we will spend with them is lesser, because you need to give each child quality time. Yeah, so yeah, I think first is sky high education costs and workplace culture, because they have long hours. And sometimes, even though nowadays it's getting better because of gender inequality, women is supposed to work harder in their careers, and also they need to do all the house chores mostly. But I heard and I observed from my husband's niece and my husband's nephew, they are also married with their partners. And I heard that my husband's nephew actually is doing most of the house chores, and he is helping a lot. He helps he helps his wife a lot on those errands, everyday errands, and also working hard for his family. And I think, I think that it's changing nowadays. I think because of these compounding pressures, many young Korean couples, they choose to, stay single or remain child-free so that they can prioritize their own financial and personal well-being. And there is this, sayings that YOLO, you only live once. So it is better to, live your life the way you want it. So sometimes they want to, some people, they want to spend it traveling, going to other countries. So if you have a child, then of course it will be a disadvantage for you to, travel, because you need to take care of them. I think nowadays the thinking of a lot of people are being more practical than before. Before it's more traditional, like, if you get married, then you need to bear a child, and the woman should take care of it and stop working, and then the man should be the main provider and be responsible of all the financial um, financial things for their family. But nowadays it's getting equal. I think it's getting balanced than before. So it is getting better. Vincent, child free. I've never heard that expression. Is the sad, lonely expressions because later in life it is your family that as soon as you. Yeah, that's right. I meant to say it is your family that sustains you. Yes. You know what, Vincent? We have a large family, and we are 7 siblings. So me and my 6 siblings. So my mom and plus my mom and dad. So we are all 9 in our family. So I actually enjoy the Christmas occasion, the New Year, the birthday occasions. I enjoyed it because I have a large family, and you know the happiness that you can get from it, having a large family, is um I think you cannot you cannot actually get it if you are childless. But then we have our own choice actually. So I don't see it also as negative if they choose not to have one. Yeah. But then for me actually, I just felt like I felt sad that some, they just prefer to not have another child or even bear a child. That is why. For us, actually, our babies, they're actually made by insemination. Did you heard of it? Because we really want to have a child, and we are really, trying our best, for me to be pregnant, because I want to have a baby actually. So we went to hospitals, these hospitals to other hospitals, just to, do counseling. How can I be pregnant? Yes, and I took a lot of, you know, every month, I do this hormonal injections, because I have a hormonal imbalance, and I also have hyperthyroid. So if you have hyperthyroidism, then it is really hard for you to ovulate and, be pregnant. So that is why. Yeah, so, and then after years of going to hospitals, then I got pregnant. And we are really happy that, you know, we are pregnant. Yeah. So my first child is a son, my son. And then it took us 7 years again to have another child. I don't know why nowadays it is really hard for women to have a fertility. Yes. Maybe because of too much stress from work. I don't know. Yes, but I think there are a lot of some issues also that cost the woman very hard for them to get pregnant. That is why. So actually, the insemination is like a fertility procedure where the prepared sperm from your husband, it will be placed directly into my uterus around my ovulation period. And the goal there is to shorten the distance of the sperm so that it can travel to reach an egg naturally and resulting in fertilization. And then, of course, it will lead to full-term pregnancy after. Actually, ovulating, uh, waiting for you to ovulate is not easy because you always need to update your doctor, and you need to go to the hospital every month and have this injection, hormonal injection, so that you will have a balanced hormones. Yeah. So I think some other couples also, they have this problem. I heard a lot of couples here also in Korea that they have fertility problems. So it's very hard for the woman to be fertile and ovulate. So that's why they choose to be childless or not to bear a child. Even though it's really hard for them to accept it, but they just accept it actually. Because they don't have a choice at all. They cannot bear a child. So what is there's they just need to move on. Yeah, so I think for me, we all have our own choices and we cannot touch the other people's choice if they choose or they decide not to have any child. And we should respect it also. There is a lot of advantages, I think, if you have a big family. Because we have a big family. Even though my dad, it cost him a lot of time because my dad went to Saudi Arabia in Middle East, and he actually works there as a truck driver just to provide for us and gave us good education. Because they have 7 children, so they need to provide all the clothings, the food, housing, all the necessary things. So my dad thinks that, oh, if I just work here, or if my dad will just stay in our country, then he cannot provide us a good education. So that's why he decided to go to Middle East and stay there for almost 20 years just to provide a good education for us. So from elementary education up to college, up to university, he was able to do it because he actually decides that he wants to provide for all of us. I think he has a strong, responsibility. He's very responsible, I think. That's why. And I think having a large family, it comes with social and emotional rewards. Because if you have a lot of siblings, it will build in lifelong companionship. You have your companions with you, your family, your siblings. And then your household will not be quiet. It will be lively, full of energy, full of laughters. Vincent, some couples wait till later in life to try to get pregnant too. Yeah, I heard it also because they are busy to, save money and prepare for their future because of, the high cost of living. Especially here in Korea, the cost of living is really high and the cost of education is high also. So they doesn't want to get married in during young age. So they prefer to get married when, they get older and they are already financially stable to provide for their family, the family that they want to build. Yeah, so I think that is why. I think it's also good because you are preparing for the family that you want to build. But then sometimes they forgot that they are already aging. And for men, it doesn't matter if they married older because, they can still bear a child. But for the woman, after 30s or, after mid 30s, our ovulation is getting affected with too many factors and it's really hard for us to, bear a child. So there's a lot of factors that will affect if you get married older, I think. Actually, there are a lot of pros and cons of having a large family. For me, advantages of having a large family is you have a lifelong companionship with your siblings. So you have a built-in support system. They can support you and it will last a lifetime. And you can share a unique bond and you can support each other through you know, major life milestones and life challenges. Also, if you have a big family, you can socialize already. You can develop socialization because each of each child has their own character, has their own personality. So you are able to adjust in each other's character. So it's already a socialization. Because if you are just one child, you need to go out to socialize with other people. But then if you have a large family and each of you has different characters, then you can actually socialize already. You can develop the socialization. Also, you can share responsibility with your other siblings. You know, older children, they can assist the younger ones. They can teach them the responsibility of house chores. And as adults, the caregiving and financial responsibilities for aging parents are distributed among other younger siblings. So it will not be a burden. It will not be a burden to just one child if you are alone and your parents are olding. So you need to take the full responsibility to take care of them because she doesn't have any sibling. So that is one reason also. But if you have another siblings, then you can call each other, you can support each other, ask for opinions, give each other advices. How are you going to take care of your olding parents? So it can be a shared responsibility. So it's really good. Ah, because I'm wearing mask, Vincent. And I want to let you guys see the nature, so that is why. And I think nature is better to look at. But thank you for your suggestion. Maybe I'll try that. Sometimes I turn my camera also. But yeah, actually I'm wearing mask right now. Okay, so I will let you see it. Hi. Hello. Good to see you, Vincent. And thanks a lot for tuning in. Yeah, so I'm actually here outside. And I just realized that living here in Korea, there are really few children. And, you know, their population is getting old. They have the old aging population because there are more old people than young children. So actually they try to, you know, give more financial assistance for those married couples and those who are getting married, their family. Outside, yes, that's right. Yeah, Mother Nature is better, right? I told you that. Because I'm wearing mask right now, so you cannot actually see my face. So that is why I put the camera on the nature, so you can actually, you know, enjoy the view rather than my face. And we cannot actually judge each other choices, but then there are a lot of factors also that affects why that person choose that kind of decision. So we don't know actually what is the reason why. So we need to respect it also. Some people, they prefer not to have a child because there is a reason. Maybe they're already old and they cannot bear any child anymore and they need to accept it. And they just need to, you know, enjoy their life without a child. And they just need to accept it. For me, if you have children, it will be like, even though there are a lot of burdens also, because you need to take care of them, you need to make sure that they will grow as a responsible person and they will grow as a person that, you know, law abiding person, and not bad one, you know. But there's also a long-term happiness if you have a child or if you have children of your own. Because during the toddler and infant years, even though it is intense and it makes you really busy because you need to take care of them, but then there are lots of research that indicates that parents with more children actually have more satisfaction. They have high levels of satisfaction and emotional fulfillment, even though they are really busy taking care of their children. Maybe because children or toddlers, they give you this energy, this positive energy, because they're so innocent and they're so cute, you know, and their laughters are actually addictive. If you hear their laughters, you know, it's contagious. It will make you actually laugh also. Anne, I am from Mother Nature. Not the trees is what I meant. Oh, okay. Thank you for that compliment. I'm actually going back now to where I came from, the first path that I take. Yeah. So actually living here in Korea, I learned a lot, and it also teaches me that you need to be always contented and be grateful for what you have and always work hard, because you can see why their economy is a growing economy. You cannot see some of them in the street just doing nothing. You can actually see most of them working hard and, you know, saving money for the future. So that is why I think. Anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in. And Vincent, thank you for your time also. I think my live is too long already. It's actually 38 minutes. So I just want to share the, you know, my idea about having a childless marriage. And, you know, there are also pros and cons if you have large family. Yeah, because I came from large family. And so I just realized that I want to share it to you guys. Anyway, thank you so much, and see you again next time. Thank you, Vincent, for your time. Looking forward to see you again later. And I'll try to screenshot it so I can try to look. Do you have YouTube channel, Vincent? Are you also vlogging? I'll try to look at you later, and I'll try to subscribe to you also. So if you have a YouTube channel, you can, you know, visit my channel also, Life in Korea Fil Kor blog. And if you can comment there, even in just one video, then I can actually see you. Yeah, I can look at your YouTube channel too. Thank you so much, Vincent. Have a nice day and have a good Monday, okay? I hope that you will have a blessed week. Thank you. Bye.